Alright, what's up guys? So, it is very weird weather out. It's about 50 to 65 mile an hour winds. It's supposed to rain tonight, but then as soon as it hits around 3 a.m. it's supposed to immediately turn into snow, and it's not supposed to stop snowing until about Tuesday or early Wednesday, and then it's supposed to go right back to rain. So it's been very, very, very weird. It's been going into the 40s, low 50s, all the way back down to the teens and 20s. I don't know, it's just weird weather. But, so this is episode 5, I believe, for 5 or 6 for Real Paranormal Stories. Like I said, this season's going to have between 10 and 11 episodes. It'll have the same amount that the Paranormal Adventures channel has. I like that they both have the same episodes each season. I like that, so I'm going to do that. This episode is going to be about Jamie. So, usually once a week on FaceTime, because we all FaceTime. Back then it used to be Skype because FaceTime didn't have group. And every single week for the last 3 years, we have made sure once a week, doesn't matter when, we talk, watch, and tell creepy stories that have either happened to us, they've heard, or have seen. And this story happened 2 nights ago, and I didn't know this, so this is very good. Usually a new story comes up, and most of the times it's usually creepy stories that we've already told, but they're still creepy to tell. So, yeah. So this is at the house with all the roommates, Carly, Marie, my significant other. Everybody was home except Carly, Marie, and Jamie. My significant other, she was at cheerleading. All 3 of them were at the liquor store, and they've been working there since the day they turned 21. Because basically, there's this the owner, or what's going to be the former owner, basically owns this liquor store that right next door he also owns, and it is kind of like a gas station that's also kind of like a mini store. And basically it's a perfect place. I've been in it 3-4 times, and it just feels like those like old style stores where anybody that comes in immediately, especially during the quote unquote dead months where it's not football season, because where they live, big school, the liquor store and all that stuff is only about, at the very most, 10 minutes away. If there's traffic, 10 minutes away. But I mean, you could actually walk from the store and actually walk to the campus and get there maybe 15 minutes, 20 if you're walking really slow. And so you have all these things, and they've been working there since they got to the school. So since 17, 18, they've been working there ever since. We're all going to be 23 this year, so it's been almost 6 years that they've been working there, and almost 2 that they've been working in the liquor store. Well, the guy wants to officially call it quits. He's been working there for 50, 60 years, since he was, in his late teens. Because he's in his late 60s now. Nice person you'll ever meet. And so they're going to take over. Well, he said that, alright, I'm going to go home. You guys can close up. Can you guys? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. So basically, you can actually just open a door, and you can actually go from one store to the next. It's a door that's only for employees, but you can actually go from one door to the next, just to make sure that everything is good. And usually they switch. So if Carl and Marie are in the store, Jamie would be in the liquor store, and then vice versa. That way at least one person is in one of the stores. So they were closing up one night, and Jamie was in the liquor store. Carly and Marie were in the store next to them, and they make sure that they have to lock all the doors, bathrooms, employees only rooms, and all that stuff. Just make sure everything's locked, secure, make sure all the lights are off. Well, she locks the door, and she locks what she calls the scariest room of the entire, of both stores combined, and that is the bathroom. Bathroom is the closest to the register, and basically it's just creepy. The light is always flickering, even though he constantly puts in new lights in. Just for some reason, it's been doing that since like the 80s, so for almost 40 years now. And so she quickly turns off the light, closes the door, locks it. She looks around, everything's done, so she's about to go over to the thing, and she closes up the front door to the liquor store, because usually she would close the liquor store and then go to the other store and make sure everybody's okay, and then they would go through that door. All three of them would. Well, they do that. They go over there, they say, hey, looks like everything's done. But then, all of a sudden, they're about to leave and go out the door, the front door, and the light in the liquor store turns on. The main light, the big light. And they're like, oh. It immediately made them very, very scared. So they go check. They have their bats. The main guy has a gun, but he doesn't bring it to work because nothing has happened there ever. I mean, he's been working there since he was 14, 15, and he's 68, I think. So he's been there for almost 60 years, and he has actually never had a robbery. No crime at all has ever happened. So his one gun is at home, and basically he's always used a bat or something like that. Because even though it's Oklahoma, and usually Oklahoma, even babies are born with their mom probably giving them a gun, but no, not this one. So they get their bat, they go in, they open the door. Nobody's there. They check the door's locked. Check all the rooms again, nobody's there. The one light in the gas place, in basically the store place next to them, they're in the other room. They're in the liquor store. They turn off the lights and they're about to go into the one, and that light turns on. So what the hell's going on? So what they do is they kind of split up. So Carly stays there, and Jamie and Marie go into the one store, not the liquor store, the one store that the light just turned on. Check everywhere, and nothing's there. But all of a sudden, they all get together. They're about to close the door that would basically separate them from one store to the next, and both lights turn on. So at first they think that it's an electrical issue, but there's no weather. It's clear skies. It's just nighttime. That's it. That's the only thing that makes this different from any other night, is that it's full moon outside. That's it. So they think that's very strange. They check the breaker and all that stuff. Everything's fine. Nothing's weird. There's no animals that are possibly messing with electrical things. So they lock everything up, and then all of a sudden they hear footsteps. So obviously I'm like, oh crap, someone's in there. Someone was hiding or something in there. So they hear footsteps, and it goes up to the door, and you can actually you can't see it jiggle, but it sounds like someone's right by the door, right next to them. So there's no way, there is no way in hell that someone can just run this far this quickly, because basically there's nothing next to the door, so you can't hide next to anything. You actually have to actually run across like the store to actually hide near anything. So they immediately open the door and nothing. They check everywhere. Jamie actually sits next to the door. Marie actually sits next to the front door, make sure that if there is somebody, they can't actually get out. So they go. There's security cameras, so they check nothing. But you can hear the footsteps and all that stuff. I mean, you can't hear the footsteps on the security camera, but nothing's there. And if someone was there, obviously it would be caught. So they're like, what the hell's going on? So they lock everything up. It happens one at a time. Well, not the father, but the owner, they tell them that. And I'm gonna actually leave this up because there's actually a experience from him, and he actually thinks that it's his father, and his father died 2 years ago. His father was 86 when he died, because he was 66 when his father died. So yeah, so that is it. So I think next episode I'm actually going to tell the paranormal experience of the owner and go on from there. So yeah, I did get permission from him. I've met him many times. He's really cool. So yeah, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.